It's a rainy, gloomy day. And you know what that calls for? A big plate of fresh pakora. Yeah? You want one? Let me show you how to make them, okay? Let's get it done. If you love Punjabi food, well then you're gonna love this next dish, pakora. Such a quintessential recipe in a Punjabi household. It's got all my favorite ingredients. It's deep fried, it's crispy, it's crunchy, it's flavorful. Pakoras. You know, when I was a kid growing up, and I always take this back to when I was a kid, because when I was a kid, I ate a lot of stuff from my mom. And she used to make pakoras on a nice rainy day. You guys can probably relate to this. A nice rainy day, you wake up, you have a cup of cha and some crispy pakoras with some chutney, some tamarind sauce or some green chutney, and you just eat them one by one as it comes out of that fryer. Sprinkle some chaat masala on top and swad aa gaya yaar. It's so good. We're gonna make it today, and if you don't know how to make it, well, you know what? That's where I come in. I'm gonna show you guys. Hey mom, how do we make pakoras? We're gonna be making the classic pakora today, and that usually has cauliflower, potatoes, onions, sometimes spinach. I didn't have spinach today, but we're gonna do without. So I'm gonna start breaking down my veggies, and we're gonna show you how to make this beautiful dish. I've got a head of a cauliflower. I'm gonna use literally half of this, or a little bit less than half. So I'm gonna cut this down. Now, you can add spinach, you can add eggplants, you can add like extra mirch, actual whole mirch to it. You can add whatever you want to a pakora. It's up to you. You can have fun with it. The beauty of it is it's all about the base, which is the besan. Chickpea flour, it's vegan, it's vegetarian, it's gluten-free. So the cauliflower, guys, if you take a look, I'm just cutting it into like little bite-sized pieces. You don't want them too big because then they're gonna be a little raw. So nice bite-sized pieces. All this stuff that you have here on your cutting board, just throw that right in as well. You don't wanna waste that. All right, so we got our cauliflower all set. We're gonna chop down our onions. Now, like we were talking about earlier, the onion ones are perfect. It's like onion rings. It's got a nice crunch to them. You can use red, white, any onion you want. I personally do enjoy the red ones more. I didn't have red in the pantry. And that's the beauty of this. You can use any onion you want. You can even use shallots. You can even throw green onions in there, right? Just for a little kick, a little fun. Throw some garlic in there. For the onion, you just want to chop it down. You don't want it too thick or too thin. Onions all chopped up. Throw that in your bowl. Now for potatoes, you can do a skin on or you can do skin off. For this one, we're gonna do skin off. So just get a nice peeler and just take off your skin. I remember growing up and you'd have all the aunties in the kitchen making pakoras, especially for like a wedding or a pot. And what they would do is they'd make the whole batter and they would fry it to about 60% and then leave it hanging around until they're ready to serve them and then just literally fry them again. When you double fry something, it actually makes it a little bit more crispier. You can batch these up beforehand, right? So you can pre-fry them, let them hang out, and then when your guests come, just finish it up, 2 minutes on the fryer, they're good to go. And kind of cuts your prep time in half. Okay, potatoes are all peeled. We're just gonna cut them in half, right? And then we're gonna slice them any way you want, but this is the way mom did it, and so this is the way I'm gonna do it. Not too thick, not too thin. It's about 1 centimeter or so of thickness. And that's kind of perfect size that you want for your potatoes. Veggies are done. We're gonna now chop off some cilantro, fresh cilantro. Just roughly chop, handful. Adds a nice freshness to your pakoras. Green chilies. 1, 2, 3, however spicy you want it. We're gonna add 2 to this mix. Got all our veggies in here, our mirch. What we're gonna do now is a squeeze of lime or lemon. That's a little secret. This kind of brightens up all the flavors when you add the masalas to the veggies. So we're gonna go ahead, add this to the veggies first because we want these spices to stick on to the veggies. Now I understand that most people use a spiced besan batter. What that means is with your besan, they'll add all their spices in there and they'll mix it up and then they'll add it to the veggies. My mom does it a little differently. She takes all her spices, she adds it to the veggies, gives it a mix, tries it out. That way she knows that her loon mirch, her salt, pepper, spices are at a good ratio. And then she can add her besan and then a little bit of water at a time. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Salt, black pepper, jeera, ajwain, coriander seeds, red chili powder, Kasoori Methi, garam masala, chaat masala. Guys, take a look. All the flavors of Punjab in one bowl. Oh, this looks so delicious. I'm gonna mix this, I'm gonna try it, and then I'm gonna see how it tastes, and I'll add all my other ingredients as we go along. It's kind of like you're marinating meat, right? Because you want your vegetables or your meat to be marinated before you cook it. And that's what we're doing with our vegetables. We're just marinating the vegetables with all those spices, getting them to get along together in one bowl. And that way, when we add the batter, the majority of the work is already done. Look at that potato, nicely seasoned. It's not dry. So you want to mix all those flavors in together. And then all you do is you literally take an onion. First, I'm going to lick my finger because I want to see the spices and if I need to add any more spices or salt or pepper, whatever it may be. And I'm going to try an onion. So first, this is what I do to make sure that it tastes good. Mirchi. It is spicy, but once that basin is added, it's nice. I think it's perfect. I think it's great. It could add a little bit more salt, but I'm going to save that for when I fry the pakoras. I'm going to sprinkle chaat masala on top, and that's just going to take it to another level on its own. An important ingredient for your pakoras, baking powder. You need about a half teaspoon, and what this does is it makes your pakoras nice and fluffy, okay? So I'm going to add this to the bowl, sprinkle it nicely. Now, you don't necessarily have to add the next ingredient, which is cornstarch. I love cornstarch. I love a crispy pakora. So if you want a crispy pakora and a fluffy pakora, for the crispiness, you add cornstarch. And this is about a teaspoon. So I'm going to add that in as well. Now we're going to start with our besan. Besan is chickpea flour. Like I said, it's gluten-free. It's delicious. So add 1 cup total of our besan. So we've got 1 cup in here. We also have another half cup waiting, and we'll see if we need to add that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add half a cup of water to this. So this goes right in. And now we're going to get our hands dirty and mix. We're going to add another 1/4 cup of besan to this batter. Just adding as you're going. Remember, you can always add, but you can't take away. So slowly, be patient. And this is coming together nicely. I'm just going to add just a splash of water. What you want is everything to kind of bind when you press it together. So if I take a good chunk and I press it together, I can add this to my oil and it'll stay intact, right? So that's what you want, guys. Not too thick, not too thin. In the meantime, I've got some oil heating up on the stovetop at 350 degrees, kind of like a medium heat, and that oil is ready to go. So we're going to do a test right now. Try out our loon mirch, try out the pakora. If that consistency is great, then we're in business. Oil is nice and hot. We're going to do a test. Mom taught me, take an ice cream scoop and you basically scoop out your filling. So it's a nice, perfect size pakora, and you add it to the oil, and that way you test your batter. You don't burn your hand as you're throwing it in. I mean, if you're used to throwing stuff in hot oil, then it's fine. But if you're not and you're scared, ice cream scoop comes in hand. It's been frying for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Nice golden brown, that's what you want. So just get a paper towel with a plate, place it on there, let it drain. So we're going to try this out. We're going to take it back to the table and give it a little test try. Used to have a pakora before you guys. Alrighty, it looks good. It's got a nice crisp. Let's try the onion one first. So far, so good. I think you can add a little bit more salt, a little bit more garam masala, maybe a little bit more chili, but taste is beautiful. The oil is a little too hot, and so I've brought down the heat a little bit. And then once I bring down the heat, we're going to be good to go to make some more pakoras. Try your batter, try one pakora out, see if you like it, adjust your recipe, and then have fun with it. You can always tell if your oil is too hot when you try your potato. If your potato is kacha, meaning a little bit raw or underdone, that means your oil is too hot. So we're going to redo this. But like I said, the crisp is perfect. The crunch is great. The flavors are great. This is a moment for cornea muchos to be up. So suave. Okay, pakora is ready to go. We've adjusted everything in here, what we needed, the salt, the mirch, the spices. The oil is at a good temperature. Now, you can either get an ice cream scoop and scoop it out into here, but you want to be a little bit adventurous, use your hands, but only if you've done this before, okay? So, create a little scoop with a bunch of your ingredients, whatever you want, potatoes, onions, all of it together, and just one by one, drop it in there.
What's going on?
I mean, you're making pakoras. In pakoras, you're gonna have the cha, right? So put in a cup of cha. It's perfect. Gloomy day, pakoras, cha. Pakora's been frying for about 4 to 5 minutes. They are nice and golden brown, nice and crispy. We're gonna take them out now, and we're gonna eat them. Beautiful fritters, nice golden brown. Guys, take a look at this plate. A beautiful plate of fried pakoras. Oh, just smells amazing. Smells like a Sunday afternoon at home. I'm gonna take some chaat masala, and this is the magical touch. Okay, take a good amount, and we're just gonna sprinkle right on top. It's the best stuff ever. Okay, here we have it, guys. Nice dish of pakoras, freshly fried. I mean, look at this, it looks delicious. This is a quintessential dish at every Punjabi household, whether it's rainy, gloomy, you're going to have an argument with your significant other, whatever it may be, you fry up some pakoras and the day is much better, right? It's just a good time. All right, let's try this out. I'm gonna go for my favorite of the aloo ones, the potatoes. Swag, so good. That chaat masala on the top, it just kind of adds to it. You can serve it with some chutney, some tamarind sauce, ketchup. We used to eat this with ketchup back in the day. My mom would take ketchup and hot sauce and mix it together, so you have like a spicy ketchup. Any masala like Maggie's sauce is also good as well. Anything you have in the fridge, you can dip with it or just eat as is. Look at the inside of this. It is beautiful, it's crunchy. That baking powder makes it nice and fluffy, and that cornstarch makes it nice and crispy and crunchy. You get a bit of the cauliflower, the onions, the potatoes. Oh, it's so good. And then, cup of cha with it. Oh, beautiful. What more can you ask for, guys? Cha, pakoras, gloomy day. I'm in heaven right now. Hope you guys enjoy that. I know I did. Let me know what your favorite pakora is, what kind of vegetable you like in your pakoras, and let me know what you like to eat it with. Chutneys, tamarind, ketchup, whatever it may be. Comment below. Share this with your loved ones because that means a lot to us. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Until next time, guys, Kundiya much is up. We out. If you're Punjabi, towel fell. You want a nice medium thick ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਕੌੜੇ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਬਸ ਪਕੌੜੇ ਤੇ ਚਾਹ ਮੇਰਾ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੰਪੀਟ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਸਵਾਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਕੌੜੇ ਖਾਣੇ ਆ ਪਕੌੜੇ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਕੌੜੇ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਖਾਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਚਾਹ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੀਂਹ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਬਾਹਰ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਪਕੌੜਾ ਦੇ ਦੇਣਾ ਪਕੌੜੇ ਤੇ ਚਾਹ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਧੀਆ so ਸਵਾਦ I love you guys I love my fans